Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be diving into another machine on the Vulnhub, which is wpwn. The link will be put in the description section below so that you can download it and play it on your own. In this video, I will be using both manual way and script way to exploit WordPress. After all, we do not want to be script kiddie, right? And also I will be summarizing the methodology to exploit WordPress. So I think I'm sure you can take away a lot of useful techniques. Okay, so now we can, however, before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Now let's head over to Kali Linux to begin with. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target machine. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be netdiscover. So as you can see over here, the IP address of the target machine could be recognized as 29, and we can note it down to our notebook in case we need such information afterwards. So we can pick them from the notebook, which is much more convenient. So next, we need to perform port and service scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before. So now we can get out its result. So as you can see over here, I took the options like scene scan, the virtual scan, the default script scan, then followed by the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. Although you can notice here, the IP address has been changed since I re-imported the target machine into VMware station. Okay, sorry, hang on. Another point I'd like to say to you, based on my practice, this machine works better with VMware workstation rather than VirtualBox. Okay, so now let's go back. From the map scanning results, we can tell that the target machine has two open ports. The first one, 22, and the surface is SSH or Secure Shell Surface. And also we can get its version information, including its version number. Though the version is a bit outdated, I don't think we can find any workable vulnerability. The second one is 80, which is running HTTP service, and also the version information, Apache 2. So I think it's very clear what we are going to do next. We need to enumerate this web application both manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser to perform manual enumeration first. We can put the IP address of the target into the address bar of the browser, press enter, and we got something back. Your goal is not just to get root shell. Your goal is to read this root flag. Okay, have fun. And also we can check its source code. But we didn't find anything else. Next, we can check to see whether robots file is available or not on this website. Yes, here, haha, just kidding. Focus on real stuff, my boy. And so this one, I don't know whether this is valid directly, but anyway, we can try it out by browser. Press enter, remove duplicate / not found. So I think this must be some kind of rabbit holes. Okay, so next let me bring back the terminal window to launch Nicto to perform automatic enumeration. So Nicto can give us the version information, request header, and allowed HTTP methods. You know, If the target machine allows dangerous method such as put, then we can exploit this dangerous method for our purpose, such as uploading web shell to the target machine. Okay. Nikto didn't give us something exciting in this case. Next, I'd like to launch GoBuster to perform directory enumeration. Let me grab the command from the history and change this IP address of the target machine. So, GoBuster can support different subcommands. Here, dir is short for directory. So this subcommand can conduct directory enumeration, although GoBuster can enumerate like virtual host or domain name. GoBuster is very powerful. I like this GoBuster very much. Okay, and use the -u option to specify the URL of the target machine, and then I use the option of -w to specify the word list. Sometimes you need to try a different word list, but in most cases, this word list is good enough. And in the end, I put the X option to specify the extensions like PHP, HTML, back. Sometimes we need to put additional extensions, okay? Depending on which kind of knowledge you have already got or you have already collected, okay? So I think GoBuster found WordPress directory. Okay, so now we can have a look at this directory, WordPress. Press enter. And now the browser is trying to load this WordPress. The directory name has already told us is application. With most possibilities, this should be running WordPress application or CMS, content management system. But the browser is trying, at the bottom, you can see the browser is trying to connect to another IP address, which doesn't exist in my lab. So maybe this site cannot be loaded fully or completely, but it doesn't matter. So in the meantime, I think we can launch maybe we can let it finish loading this site. But I think I'd like to take this time to summarize, scanning. Port 22, port 80, HTTP. So how to enumerate WordPress, how to enumerate and exploitation. Here I'd like to give you some recap. The first step, you need to run this command wp. This is short for WordPress scan and URL, blah 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 blah, the URL of or address of the target machine, and option of E. This stands for enumerate. U and P. P means plugin. U here means username. And if username is found, then we can crack its password, okay, with the same utility. And if the password is found, then we can try to upload web shell to the target machine. And also we can take different approaches to upload such a web shell. The first one is replace 404 PHP template with our PHP reverse shell file, okay? And next we can launch Metasploit. Metasploit has one module which you can upload the web shell easily. And sometimes we need to upload this web shell as plugin. Okay, as plugin. Okay. And next, if the plugin is found, then we can use such as Sprite or Google to search its exploit. If we can, we can find, if the exploit is found, then we can, we can exploit it with this exploit code or something like instructions. Okay, if plugin is not found, we need to go back to this wpscan URL, but with this option, plugin detection mixed. So this option will take comprehensive way to enumerate plugins, and I mean both in aggressive way and in passive way. Okay, and then we'll take the same approach. We can use such as Sprite or Google to to find its vulnerability or exploit. Let's go back. Okay, nothing else. So I think next we can launch the WordPress scan to URL. Specify the URL, WordPress, and option of E to see what we can get. So it's emulating users via passive and aggressive method. But here, not unlike this option, this option would be more powerful. Okay, based on my practice. So has already found the user name admin, and we can launch the same utility to crack its password admin, and we can use locule word list. Besides discovering username, and also just now find this plugin, and also its version 3.5.2. Next, we can use such a Sprite utility, and social. Yeah, indeed, this plugin, social warfare, is vulnerable, and even we're given this Python script. So next, I'm going to take two approaches to exploit this vulnerability, this remote code execution vulnerability. One, we can take this Python script. Next, I'm going to use manual way to exploit this vulnerability. Okay, actually, we can go to the Google social exploit. I think the first link. So I think this link gives us the POC, and we can exploit this vulnerability manually. Okay, not too much complicated, right? Here, just 3 steps are involved. Anyway, now we can use the option of M to get its Python code. Okay, now we can have a look at this Python code. So some information about this code, applicable version, requests. So this is the vulnerable path. I think we need to provide the payload, but this should be, we need to host this payload on our Linux, and we can put some commands, right, into this payload. So how to do? I think we can use Vim editor, and I'd like to copy this payload from here. We can copy and paste over here, right, and quit. Now we can set up web server on the Linux. Next, we need to, I do not think its password can be cracked within reasonable period of time. So I'd like to stop it here. We can run, because this is written in Python 2, so we can use Python 2, and we can specify the target. Let me autocomplete this command. So here I need to change the IP address of the target machine. And now we can press, I think we can press enter, sending payloads to system. So I think we successfully retrieved password file. It means that this code or this exploit works well. So next we can change this payload to reverse shell command. We can use Vim payload, and we can try to use netcat. Bin bash IP address of the Linux and port number. Very easy, right? Right, and quit. So next we can run this exploit one more time. Oh, sorry, we need to set up the listener on the Linux, waiting for collection from the target, right? So now we can press enter. As you can see, we successfully get back this collection from the target machine. Okay, so that's it. But I'm going to show you how to manually exploit this code. Exploit this vulnerability. Very easy. We can use the same payload file, and we can use the browser. We can copy and put over here, and we can prefix with IP address of the target machine and directory of WordPress. So now, of course, here also we need to modify it. Okay, press enter. We need to set up listener first. Now we can run it. Fantastic. We can get the same result of getting collection from the target machine. And we can spawn interactive shell by Python. Python 2 is available. So we can import pty module bin bash. Okay, export term variable. Then we can clear screen whenever to get a bigger space on the window. Next, we can, of course, we need to gather information to make a lot of movement, right? Techies, only one normal user. And without any difficulty, we can grab the user flag. Okay, now we can try to, for example, go to opt directory. Nothing here. You know, as we know, the target image is running WordPress. So I think we need to have a look at WordPress configuration file, because this file contains credentials. Okay, go to www directory, go to HTML and WordPress, and then we can cut out this configuration file. And here we can find the username and password for the database collection. Although these credentials are used for database, but in some cases, password is reused in different places. We can copy to see whether we can use this password to for the user techies. Okay, it does work. Very beautiful. Next, we need to make more enumeration. For example, we can check to see whether the current user techies can run sudo. It can, even can run all commands. So I think privilege escalation would be very, very easy. We just run sudo bin bash. And now we can go to root directory to get root flag. However, just we are told by the loom, or I told by the author, to get root shell is not our final goal or ultimate goal. We need to get the root flag. This is actually not root flag, so no problem. Here, give us the hint, USB, look into my USB. So we can use find command. And lame, we can use wildcard, so USB. And I want just interest in file rather than directory. And we can redirect all error to special now device. Press enter. Nothing here. Find. So maybe we need to change its option. USB. We remove the type option. This time we have something back, and now we can cd to this. This should be directory games USB, and then we can get its root flag. Okay, game over. So I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a good day, please.